Yo, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back. Manchester City versus Liverpool 2-0. That free kick for me pretty much encompasses everything that is going on with Manchester City. No idea. No idea. The play just died out. It went all the way to the back, and that's it. That was the end of it. I think at one point I saw what's his name, Kyle Walker, just waving his hands like a madman, trying to get Rico Lewis or Phil Foden, I think, to meet the ball, and the play just died out. Like nothing happened. And I never thought I'd see Manchester City struggle so much to come up with an idea, just clueless as to what to do with the ball. Like nobody wanted to assume that leadership role. And that's the thing, there's like no leaders. I know that they're missing a lot of players, a lot of players, but I couldn't get, for instance, why Mateus Nunes was playing. And the only thing I could come up with was I saw, or I read, because I did not watch the game against Feyenoord, that he was one of the best players. That's the only reason why. But in this game, when I saw him, I was like, who is that? When I heard the word, the last name, Nunes, I thought it was like maybe a Spaniard. I thought they recently acquired somebody. No, it was him. And I thought to myself, wait, didn't this guy play as a 6 or an 8 in Wolverhampton? And you're making him play as a right wing? What was that? Like as a winger? Like he did nothing. Trent Alexander-Arnold had no problem dealing with this guy. And what was more surprising was that he was starting the second half. I thought he was going to be taken out in the first half, which he should have been taken out in the first half. Absolutely. And Phil Foden, man, in that middle with Gundogan. I thought Gundogan coming back to Manchester City at the start of the season was just going to be another City win, another treble maybe for City. Not at all, man. This game, I feel for them. Not just even Gundogan. I feel for everybody. Foden, too. Foden got one past, I think it was Gravenberch. And that was the only time I think they got past in the middle. Because after that, I'm telling you, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, once upon a time, these guys would have like shook any opposition. And not in this game. Absolutely not in this game. And if anything was the inverse, it was Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai. My God, dude, they just ran a train on Manchester City. I'm sorry. They just ran all over them. All over them. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I mean, the many times that you saw Szoboszlai. For me, Szoboszlai, man of the match, just because of what he did in the first half, those first 20, 25 minutes, absolutely brilliant. Every single pass, every shot was just the finesse, the touch, perfect. This guy had a near perfect game. Because of what he did in the first half. And I didn't understand why he was playing instead of Curtis Jones, because Curtis Jones was one of the best players, and I mean everybody played well, but one of the best players against Madrid. Just didn't get why he was on the bench and Szoboszlai was playing. And I would even say that Szoboszlai maybe played, I mean they both played amazingly well, but maybe a tad better, just different style of football, a lot more piercing from this guy Szoboszlai, just because of the passes. But the passes, the recovery, the passes, my God, man. Forget about the shots, because the shots were right at Ortega. Had they been just slightly wider, I don't know. I don't know what would have happened, because that scoreboard did not do justice to the game. If anything, if I had any complaint, or if there's any other way, very few ways that Liverpool can get better, I would say they got to be more clinical and they got to score, because it was Szoboszlai, it was Salah, and I'm going to get to Salah again. Szoboszlai, Diaz, right? There were a lot of opportunities. Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, Gakpo as well. Like this should have been at least a 4. Maybe you could even say a 5-0. This should have been a 3-4-5-0 easily for Liverpool. So that's my only gripe, you could say. But after that, everybody played amazingly well. Everybody. So like the finishing with Salah. Everyone says he's a legend. You ain't showing me a legend. I know the stats are there. I know longevity's proving that he's a legend. I know the goals, again, the stats, right? But you could bring any player, any striker from the past, and I'm talking about from the 2000s. Hell, I'll even go all the way back to the 90s and 80s, and you make him play in this time. And I'm only saying the 2000s because the 2000s are kind of like, close by. But football has changed a lot in these past 20 years. 15, 20 years. And any of these players, like when they're making that comparison of Henry versus Salah, who is better, Henry, like in terms of like pure talent, like raw talent, Henry, absolutely. I don't care how many passes, stats, or whatever this guy Salah has, and I think he's a good player, but how can you miss all by yourself? You can't do that, Salah. You can't do that. You can't call yourself a legend and miss stuff like that, especially when the team's playing so well. You're playing at home, momentum's against you. there's just no reason to be playing like that. And was that after the goal that he scored? I mean, even worse if it was. I can't remember right now. So I don't know what to say. I'm not saying he's a bad player, definitely not. But you got to score. Those are goals that you have to score. They have to go out. I'm sorry, you have to score absolutely, 100%. You're not going to change my mind about that. You have to score. You gotta score. Come on. Diaz also. Diaz was the one for the penalty that got the penalty. I would even say Nunez coming in, because Nunez came in and he balled. When it comes to defense, he balled up. Not so much offensively, but defensively he was great, phenomenal. He's the one that got the ball from Nunez, Ruben Diaz, sorry, from Ruben Diaz. Nunez got the ball from Ruben Diaz, and then Luis Diaz got the ball and ran and got the penalty. Again, everybody played really well. Man City got better, way better when this guy Doku came in, when Savinho came in. Both of them made a huge difference in Manchester City's attack, and that's when Manchester City were dominating a little bit more, but we're not creating that many clear chances. 4th defeat in a row in the champions in the Premier League. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen with Manchester City. Next game, I think they're playing against Tottenham. Yeah, I'm sorry, Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest aren't doing so bad. They're doing pretty well, especially at home. So we'll see what happens there. And I loved Guardiola with I think it was the 6 or the 7 that he did when the crowd was, I don't know, maybe you could tell me what the crowd was saying. I couldn't make it out. But, Guardiola is the type of coach that never answers back. He's above that. He doesn't have to get into that, that debate with anybody, and that was nice. That was nice to see, just because that he's human and that he actually reacted. He definitely got irked and responded with with a nice 6-7 titles, right? So that was interesting. That made me smile. For some reason, I actually thought it was classy of him to do that. Just the way in which he went about doing it. But again, phenomenal work from Liverpool. I just hope, because everybody's going to be saying that oh, that's it, they're going to win, there's no chance that they're going to come back. Liverpool would have to lose 5-6 in a row for Manchester City to catch up, if they're still in second place at that point. But there's still so much football to be played. There's so much football to be played, and look what's happening in La Liga with Barcelona, right? So that could very well happen to Liverpool. I just hope, one thing I just want is Liverpool, be consistent. That's it. Just be consistent. And that's one thing that I think they also struggle with, just like Arsenal, consistency. Please let this be the year that you just ride this wave. Don't stop all the way into the end in the Champions League and in the EPL. Please. Now, as for, is Slot the one that's responsible for this? I don't know. Yeah, I would say he is. He's partially responsible. Just his presence alone is doing something, obviously, because he inherited a really good team. I don't know what kind of team Klopp inherited, but I doubt, I wasn't watching back then, but I doubt it was a team like this. So I'm sure Slot is aware of this. I'm sure he recognizes that. I'm sure he has no problem recognizing that and admitting that. But whatever it is, man, I'm happy. I'm happy to see Liverpool play, and Liverpool play in this fashion. They are mopping up the competition. They are playing phenomenally well. Really, really good performance by everybody. So looking forward to more, Liverpool games. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.